Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started.
Hey, what's up everybody? John Hiley here with the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast, chilling with long time no see Angela Hiley.
Hey.
We took this show on the road, so we are actually chilling here in our kitchen / bedroom /
I'm back, bitches.
living room.
I've been very, very busy. No, actually it's been very stressful.
We live in this one-room hut right here that we're doing the podcast in.
I'm taking care of my dog.
Taking care of my dog.
My dog, my baby, my ride or die.
And then you know who gets neglected in the process. Just so you know.
You'll be okay. You'll be all right.
That's what they all say, isn't it, guys?
Yeah. Oh dear Lord, everything's
so what is this you want to
settling.
talk about on the podcast? You just kept talking about you want to talk about scandalous ass hoes. Let's hear this.
I wanted to keep it more upbeat because things have been very crazy. And then there was like that whole week before Lily had her surgery that it was just so sad. And it
But so it just reminded you of scandalous ass bitches today.
No, I was just jamming to some music, just some different songs, and I was like...
Were they talking about these scandalous hoes?
Well, I need to get a shirt. So Miranda Lambert came out with this song, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dear God, I so need to get a shirt with this on it. It's like the name of her song. Hold on, I'm going to find it real quick. And because
so it's
I'm
all
like...
these bitches that try to take your man.
There ain't no bitches trying to take my man. I'm pretty scary, so I think most people tend to, stay away.
Them scandalous hoes stay in check.
Maybe, barking up the wrong tree. It's called, hold on. Oh, it's called Way Too Pretty for Prison.
Wow.
So I need a shirt that says that because...
It's the way that I've always felt.
Because that's how I always think. I'm just like, oh... I just so really want to go beat this bitch's ass, but then I'm like, oh, I'm just so pretty, way too pretty for prison.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking
I don't know,
with you.
you'd probably be like a good bride. Some manly looking chick.
No, I ain't never going there. No. I don't ever want to go to jail. No.
That kind of reminds me of that. Who was it? Carrie Underwood did a song where she was totally vandalizing some fucking dude's car.
There's been some other country singers that have sung songs about that. But that happens sometimes. I mean, sometimes, you're with this guy and they do something that's just fucked up and you got all this aggression inside of you and you need to release it, and it's like, what better way to just go out there and fuck his car up and try not to get caught and feel better.
Man, I'm so glad dudes don't handle shit that way. We just like getting fist fights and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, isn't that kind of like the same thing in a way? I mean, you guys are beating each other up. She's
Technically
just going out there.
not. A car is like an inanimate object. You know what I mean? You're attacking.
But here's the thing, though.
Object.
But would you rather the aggression be taken out on the car or the girl taking it out on the person?
Well, I mean, if it was another dude, I'd rather them approach me than try to approach my car.
No, I'm talking about the girl.
I don't know. It's kind of apples and oranges.
Oh.
I don't know if I like that comparison.
I mean, would you want me
because
to...
a woman shouldn't be... Nobody really, technically, and I truly believe this nowadays. You really shouldn't be going out trying to fight people.
No.
As hard as it is for me to say that.
No, I know. I
had to tell our son that recently because he's having you know how
he
it is
did.
in high school, man.
He did. He's cool now. Everything's good.
And you know how it is in high school. The first thing you think about, you're with a girl, she starts flirting around with other dudes, and the first thing you think about is ganking that guy, you know.
No, I told John that. I said, if you do that, I'm taking your car away. I would never.
You see, back when I was a kid, we used to get them.
I know, but I wouldn't do that. I guess there's, I just, no, because they're really not worth it. I wouldn't do it, though, even though sometimes it would probably be fun.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie about that. But no, what I was thinking about is, so you have this nowadays where women are like, us women, we must unite. We must, join forces together. We must, lift each other up, and we must better one another. And I'm like, okay, that sounds really good and all. But here's the thing, though. You have these hoes out there that, will say they're your friend, but they're really not your friend. And then they try and go around and either try to fuck your husband or your boyfriend.
Yeah. It's like a competition.
So I'm thinking, how is that really, us women uniting together to be able to lift one another? You know what I'm saying? It's
you gotta use a little sense. You gotta know who you're gonna fuck with.
I know, but I'm just ugh. And then they're always trying to say that, men are the ones that really are, holding us down and this and that. And I'm like, no, it's just the whole women, all us women. No, not all of us women, because I'm not like that, though. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I don't think they really make women like me anymore. There's very few out there in this world.
Well,
it's true.
I think there's a lot of people that are I consider our relationship a little bit more old school, We've obviously had our rough patches, and I put you through whatever, and you put me through all kinds of shit every
John,
day.
No.
But, in the long run, there really has never been any serious consideration of splitting up. There's never been a time where we seriously, considered that as an option. And
I've told you, and I've told Jonathan, I'm the glue that has kept this family together.
And I'm just going to give you men some advice.
That is the honest.
Just give them their glory moment.
Glory moment? Oh my God. No, John.
If you guys listen to somebody...
if you didn't have me, you wouldn't be doing the things that you're doing today.
Hey, every good man needs a good woman. I'm going to agree with that. Even Martha Washington with George Washington. I think you ought to research her. I hear she was really submissive, to the founder of the free fucking world.
I'm submissive to you when it's necessary.
Yeah, when I speak up and be like, hey,
no.
Girl.
Mm-hmm. No.
I give you that voice right here like this.
No, I don't think so. This is actually very enjoyable doing this podcast since I've been taking care. Actually, Lily will be 3 weeks in this Friday, and then she has 3 more weeks to go.
So what do you feel like you've learned during this whole process?
Since I've been home with Lily?
Yeah, well, I mean, that and the whole process.
Oh, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get me all emotional and start crying?
No. I want to say that, here's what you guys got to understand. We had another miniature schnauzer.
Moses.
Which he was our first one. He was a boy. And back in 2011, it was the beginning of the Dayton hailstorm.
No, it was when we moved. It was towards, the middle of that hailstorm because we were already moved down here and we were living in Miamisburg. And he got sick, the drop of a dime. And we took him. We didn't take him to this vet hospital. We took him to a different one. And they couldn't quite figure exactly what was going on with him. But what had happened is that he was having liver failure, and he was having his pancreas. It was inflamed. And they told us that there was a 50-50 chance of him being able to recover. And he was getting...
there was some sort of blood transfusion.
Yeah, something like... Was it like stem cells or something? Or I don't know. But we kept doing it, and all we were doing, in all honesty, is we were prolonging his life. Well, Lily, it's like she turned 8 years old, and like the following week she started having these fainting episodes. I'm like, what the heck is going on with her? And we didn't know that they were fainting episodes. We thought maybe she had like a pinched nerve, or maybe she was having some seizures. And when we took her down there, and she was supposed to see she was scheduled. She had an appointment to go see a neurologist.
Which we'll take a step back from our previous dealing with this other veterinarian place. We kind of felt like he just got passed around from doctor to doctor. But immediately when we took our Lily to our doctor, and which is cool because they were open at the time. We were able to bring her into a doctor that's seen her since she was pretty much like a puppy.
Yeah.
And she immediately said, guys, this is out of my scope. She needs to see a specialist. Yeah. So that's one thing I learned. I know a lot of you guys might be dog lovers, animal lovers. And the one thing I learned in this process is that we got a recommendation from our veterinarian to go see a specific person to diagnose a specific problem. And what I really learned from it is taking him to the other place. And I'm not saying he would have survived or anything like that. But what I felt like was that he was passed around from person to person trying to diagnose something that they weren't qualified to diagnose. If that makes sense. Because believe it or not, there are cardiologists, there are neurologists, there are actual people that specialize in certain areas of pet care.
Yeah. And
our doctor... the first thing she told us, because she didn't know what it was, to a neurologist. Yeah. We go sit down and we talk to the neurologist. She immediately says, well, if it's neurology, she's not going to be excited when it happens, meaning her heart rate's increasing.
Yeah, and Lily did have a fainting episode, and she's like, oh, no, you need to see the cardiologist. So,
and the cardiologist came and ran the test.
A bunch of tests. Any test that you could possibly imagine that you would run on a human to see what was going on with the heart, that's what was ran on Lily. And she had an EKG, she had an ultrasound, very extensive blood work. They did some other stuff. I mean, everything came back okay, but they were saying that her heart just wasn't beating the way that it was supposed to. It's a certain type of disease that...
I forget what they call it.
I'll get it. Hold on. I got the paperwork right over here.
She's going to get the paperwork, y'all. But this, it's like something always interesting happens whenever you are absolutely in, as busy as can be. I mean, when we lost Moses, we were dealing with a hailstorm. We were right in the middle of it.
We were, weren't we?
And
she has, it's called sick sinus syndrome.
Yeah, that's something that's pretty common in her breed. But it's so crazy.
And some other breeds.
She now has a pacemaker in.
Yeah.
And it's like she's running around like a little puppy again, but we got to keep her kind of calm to make sure it seats in appropriately and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she was supposed to have the surgery at a later date, but she had a really bad fainting episode, and they're like, well, you need to bring her down here, and we need to do this emergency surgery because she could have a fainting episode, and then her heart just wouldn't. It would stop. It would basically stop. So,
and we are happy to say that she has not, after this surgery, she has not had any episodes. So it appears the pacemaker's working great.
Yeah, basically what it is like it's an actual human pacemaker, and it's under her skin on the side of her neck. So she's got kind of like a little square that sticks out. And then she's got a wire that runs down into the front of the chest, directly down one of the valves and into our heart. And basically she has to be kind of on low activity for about 4 to 6 weeks. So that way the scar tissue builds up, and basically that wire seeds in there.
If you could imagine, like, you ever see a barbed wire stuck in a tree? You know, a tree grows into it.
Yeah.
That's essentially what they want to happen with a wire that goes down into our heart. But I'll give you guys, I really didn't truly understand what a pacemaker did until, of course, this happened. Then we're researching it. We're reading all kinds of stuff on Google, of course.
Yeah.
And so apparently a pacemaker is something that goes and touches your heart, and it monitors your pulse, or it monitors your heart rate.
Yeah.
And when that heart rate just slightly drops off, it kicks in and it restarts the heart automatically.
Yeah. It gets it to where it's beating on a nice pattern.
Level. You know? And believe it or not, like, these things will last I think it has 8 years worth of battery.
Yeah.
If it was used 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they pretty much say that this right here is a permanent solution to that issue there. So we're super happy, but we're actually, because I didn't want to have to, I was carrying her up and down the steps. And she is a small dog, but she's not a super small dog. I mean, she weighs about 20 pounds.
No, she ain't 20.
What is she, 18?
Yeah, she
18 pounds. But what I was
Don't
worried
make
about,
her sound chubby.
what I was worried about was carrying her down my steps in the morning and every day. Would I slip and drop her or something like that? So we got her an Odin right here in our living room. Again, you guys already heard. I talked about this a little bit in the other podcast. But and we got a blow-up bed, which I sprung for the $140 or $160 blow-up bed.
I love sleeping.
It's not
blow-up bed is like, I honestly feel like it's more comfortable than our bed upstairs.
So it's like we're having a little outing, a little camping. Our bed upstairs is actually made of elastic. I love it. So here's the deal. She had me sleeping on, she wanted a soft bed back in the day. It had to be soft. So I literally had back pains for, I'm going to say, like 5 or 6 years on our last bed that we had. And that was a Stearns and Foster. So when we get a new bed,
you like that mattress too.
So when we get a new bed,
you were all down for it too. The big old fluffy soft one too.
So when we get a new bed, I'm all about getting one that has something that's firm to it. You know, and we actually went with elastic because they talk about that, believe it or not, it's a more natural than that memory foam, and it's more breathable. I love it.
I mean, it's nice. I always feel like I get hot, though, when we're laying on it. Like, my butt starts burning. It feels like it's on fire or something sometimes.
Well, that might be the salsa you eat before you go to bed.
No, it's not. I like the blow-up bed. That's been fun. But it's definitely been a very crazy ride because I really thought I don't want to get emotional. I don't want to start crying.
So we're down here watching Real Housewife, you know.
Oh, it's been so crazy with Lily because I thought that I was going to, like, lose her. But it's like I wanted this is what it was. It's like I was I was, like, going back and forth because it's like, no, I want my dog to be here with me for, damn, I must start crying, John. You're supposed to say something. You're not supposed to, like, look at me.
You're going to be all right. Well, I'm going to give you guys a little something what I've learned during the process. You know, what I've learned really during the process, and I think things like this in your life really brings into perspective what matters, you know. And that person had a little slight comment on Facebook or especially on YouTube. I think I just got some fucktard that just wrote something on one of my videos a minute ago. But, like, all of that shit is so minor and so insignificant that you can never let them little things bother you because all of a sudden a big issue could come along and it literally just takes over everything. I mean, you know, we consider our dogs like family.
Yeah.
And to think if one of my family members got sick, and I know some of you guys today are maybe dealing with that, and my heart goes out to you because really, truly, that's, you know, wealth, success, all of that stuff is impossible for somebody who's dealing with, with health issues and things like that. So, and puts me back into a feeling of gratitude, a feeling of blessing. And I think a lot of times, you know, we get so busy in life and we get like so super hyper focused on, you know, the big picture, and we tend to be upset if things don't go our way, and we don't really step back and look at the overall picture, that if people around you are healthy, that if you're making progress, that if you're living life, you're experiencing life, you actually have the ability to be around and be with the people you love, then you're winning, You're being successful. You're living a successful life. Mm-hmm. That's something that I've been working on quite a bit with myself, is just finding I think a lot of people, they push happiness to like another day or another time. And they take happiness and they say, well, happiness is when I go on vacation, at the end of this year. Or happiness is when I'm off on Friday or Saturday. Or maybe happiness is whenever my business finally succeeds, or whenever I open this new company, or whenever, now my business is succeeding, but I need to be making like $1 million a year. So happiness is at $1 million a year. But then when you get to $1 million a year, happiness is at 10 million a year. And the problem with that is that happiness is right here with us, all the time. It's your choice. It's a choice right now.
I know. That's just like right now. I'm not at the shop with John, but I'm staying at home, and I'm like enjoying every minute with Lily, because she could have, and we could have had to end up putting her to sleep, but thankfully that this surgery has helped her, and she's like a new dog, and I'm thankful that hailstorm came through, because it gave us that extra money to be able to, take care of her.
Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, when you're doing hail car after hail car, the cost of everything that was associated with it is really just, you guys know how it is. It's not really a whole lot.
But what was that one? You were talking to Trey on the phone, and you guys were talking about something, and I know that we've talked about this before, but you were always like, how people always kind of like downplay about like, there's such like a stigma or whatever of like, if you're a bad person, if you're wealthy, and you were talking about like being able to make a lot of money and being wealthy, you're able to take care of the people or your animals that you love.
Well, a lot of people know that, how I'm not all about having that conflict with money. I am in alignment with money, and, I don't believe that it's bad at all. I believe it's very, very good. I couldn't imagine the world without it, There would have to be some other exchange, of course, gold, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But right now, money is a currency. It's just a means of exchange. And, me and Trey Scott were talking about that. He said, that's the great thing about being a provider, is that you can provide for the things and people you love. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I think is overlooked with money, especially people that have that massive stigma of, if I make a lot of money, I'm going to be a bad person, blah, blah, blah. Like, all of that stuff is so much horseshit, because guess what? There's good people that have money. There's bad people that have money. There's good people that don't have money. There's bad people that don't have money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, money is just an extension of who an individual is. And, and I think I talked a little bit about this on some of the previous podcasts. So I'm not going to go too deep into it. But, you know what? It feels damn good to be able to take care of the people and things around you and not really feel the pinch. And, it just got me thinking more and more in the future of, like, how we can do things to help people that might need this specific surgery done. Mm-hmm. Because in all reality, not everybody is going to have the type of money that it takes to do these type of things.
No, and I totally, I so recommend this. Like, when you get a pet and they're a puppy, get pet insurance.
Well, Odin doesn't have it yet.
Odin will be getting pet insurance. I wanted to see what it was going to, and it's not that bad. Like, you can get just, like a medical coverage that just pays for, like what Lily had done, an extensive surgery you're going to be spending like $30 a month. Or if you want something that's going to include pet visits and, the shots and all this and that, I think it was like $47, and it was through Nationwide.
Hey, plus it's a tax write-off. Yeah. Hey, the company mascot. You got to take care of the mascot. The mascot's got to have health insurance.
Yeah, so I mean, like, Layla and like Lily's 8 and Layla's 7. Lily had this actually it's not a very like major surgery. What the cardiologist was telling us, like it's
all
not,
the money was in the pacemaker, really.
Yeah, that's what the pacemaker.
They can actually test that thing from the outside. They literally can put like a magnetic connection to it and test its battery strength. They can test how often it's been running.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff like that.
When it needs readjustments.
It's kind of cool because like people at our veterinarian's office, they've only seen 2 or 3 2 or 3 patients, right?
Yeah.
Little poop-eating patients that have had this done. So when Lily goes in there, she's like famous.
Everybody's
wants to come into the room and they want to look at her and they want to see it.
Yeah, everybody's in awe, but it's actually a very common surgery.
The very first pacemaker ever put in, I want to say, was in the late 50s. And then about 10 years later, they did that in a pet.
1967, that's when they put the first pacemaker in a dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like nowadays, they can pretty much do everything that they can do for a human.
Yep.
It's crazy. But I'm thankful I got Lily. And it'll extend her life anywhere from 3 to 8 years. But I'm not putting in no little, like, we have this much time. I'm enjoying every day.
Yeah. And, the one thing I want you guys to, another learning experience that we had during all of this was that we had to kind of erase a past fear to move forward on this because, it was such an emotional event when we lost our first dog, Moses, and we spent all this money and he just kept getting worse and kept getting worse, that at that time when we lost him, we said that we would never do it again.
Yeah.
And you got to think, we were just thinking how we just prolonged his suffering. And that was her biggest fear, is that we were going to prolong Lily's suffering, and then the same thing was going to happen. But I had to constantly remind her that this was a different scenario. This had different odds, and it felt really different. Like, I normally go with the way that I feel inside. And from the moment that this happened to her, I did not have that feeling that we were going to lose her.
Yeah.
Like, the entire time I had this feeling that she was going to be okay. And I want to say, whatever little voice in your head, probably me talking to myself, whatever it is, it was telling me, keep moving forward, keep doing it. It's going to be all right, And I didn't hesitate a moment. Anytime they asked for something, anytime they wanted something done, I just told them do it. And it was a little bit tough for her to take the previous experience and like, it just makes you wonder, like, what previous experiences are you carrying around that's causing, like, dictating the judgment that you have today? I'll give you guys an example of one. I had a bad blowout with a family member who was an employee of mine that made it hard for me to want to hire and train people again. So I was taking that previous experience, and it became, next thing, I've got an issue. I've got something stamped in my brain that's telling me, that's going, don't go down that path again. Mm-hmm. Don't walk down that path again. And a lot of times, it's almost like they talk about, when you wreck a motorcycle enthusiasts will tell you they want to get back on and ride the next day. Because if you don't do it, you're going to have that fear in your heart and in your mind. And it's kind of interesting because now I want to do things that bring fears to the table so I can bring whatever issue I have to the table in front of me, because there's a lot of times we'll keep fears in our life that will hold us back from reaching our true potential. It's not just about moving forward with a surgery on a dog. It's about everything.
That's just an example.
It's a great example.
Yeah.
But it's everything. We have a bad experience and we mark it in our life. When we talk about NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which is very interesting stuff. I've studied it a little bit, but NLP calls that pillars of false belief. It's like, what pillars of false belief do we have? And I think a lot of that just comes down to you bringing these false beliefs into question. You asking yourself, like, okay, well, I'm not doing this, or a fear. You get hit with fear and you start asking yourself, why am I feeling this way? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you're going to find that fear has got some sort of pillar underneath of it. Imagine a table that has pillars underneath of it. That table is your fear, and then pillars underneath it are the false beliefs that hold that table up.
Yeah.
So you want to look at it like, what false beliefs do I need to start pulling away? Or what happened to me during this life? Like, I can tell you the employee thing of hiring employees and stuff like that with several employees that I had. I had one employee that ended up leaving me, becoming like I want to use competitor loosely, but ended up leaving me and going out on his own, right? And then I had one right after that I don't know, was just really lazy. And I kept him around for a long time because I always just felt like I needed somebody. And then I had one that was a family member that ended up leaving me. It's just like one thing after the next. And right there's 3 pillars of false belief,
Yeah.
And it caused me to not want to hire people full-time around me,
Yeah, I totally get you. Now I'm better. Oh, I'm not emotional again.
She's back.
Dear God, I don't even think they realize how much crying that I have, done. I think I cried so much that I couldn't cry anymore, but it was like I wanted to cry, but I couldn't cry.
It's probably true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's why I wanted to start the podcast and talk about hoes. I wanted to try and talk about something funny.
She told me the whole time, I'm like, she's like, when you want to talk about the podcast, I'm like, I really don't care. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. And
I'm talking about
she's
hoes.
like, let's talk about bitches and hoes that be scandalous hoes. And I'm
I was telling,
who are these scandalous hoes?
Listen, I was telling John, we were going to the grocery store. I think it was last week, and I was like, John was singing some song, and I was like, oh, T-Pain sings that. And I'm like, man, that dude's got one hell of a voice. He's got, a really good voice. I was like, but I don't get it. Whatever happened about singing about, good, love songs? Nowadays, you got these, R&B singers, and I don't know, it's like they went through this phase where all they are is, singing about strippers and going up and down on poles and this and that. And I'm like, how in the hell is that a fucking love song? That's like, man, you got one hell of a voice, and your voice is, really good, but, how is this supposed to be a good love song when we're just singing about a stripper going up and down on the pole and her booty's bouncing and, I'm just like, that really just doesn't put me in, a good lovey mood.
I think you got to be like a special...
That I want to be, getting it on with my husband. I'm like...
I think you got to be a special kind of dude to marry a stripper.
But I don't know. But, why can't they sing, what happened? I mean, 90s R&B, they never talked about... I'm in love with the stripper. I think he sings that one song. He's like, I'm in love with the stripper. She roll and she ride and something, da-da-da-da-da. And Akon sings that. And I'm just like, man, you guys got some really good voices, but why the hell are y'all singing about fucking strippers?
I like Steel Panther's version.
It's not love music. But
if you guys haven't heard Steel Panther, go and Google it or get on your Apple Music and listen to it. There's a song about a stripper, but it's that makes your
my
phone bill.
No,
pay
that
my
makes
rent.
your stomach. Is it that one? Or is it Oklahoma Girl? There's a couple
it's not
songs
Oklahoma Girl. It's
that will
one of the other ones.
I know,
about
but
the
there's
stripper.
a couple songs that'll really make your stomach, and it'll make your stomach feel really yucky.
Oh, and they got
inside.
that Tiger Woods song.
Yeah, but then Jonathan. Oh my God! I forget how old he was, but he knew every word to Weenie Ride. Do you remember that?
A song called Weenie Ride. Let me take you on a weenie ride.
So offbeat. But I have a question for you. So, when you think of, good... weenie ride. So offbeat. And they'll hear that song and they'll be like, man, John's, butchering this song. But when you think of, good, love R&B music, what singer comes to your mind? Let's go 90-ish.
I don't want to say who comes to my mind.
I asked you this question.
Seal. I I'm going to play it safe on this one. Seal.
Seal? What about Keith Sweat?
Oh, yeah, Keith Sweat.
Yeah.
Has he got Ain't Nothing Wrong with a Little Bump and Grind?
No, that's R. Kelly.
Oh, no. You said it.
What, R. Kelly?
Ah.
Man, that fucker, I swear, he got some good-ass music, too. Why does he got to go out there and do that shit for? Damn it.
They all fucking up like that. Even that one guy who
No,
went to jail.
you said, no, what did you say? And it wasn't even R&B. Who was that one guy?
Who, Seal?
No, not Seal.
I don't even remember anything Seal sung.
I don't either.
Meatloaf. A little Meatloaf. You know, I was a Meatloaf man.
Your mom loved that guy. What song did Meatloaf sing that he was?
He sung that one that was like,
Good sing
was it like Beauty and the Beast or something like that? It was on Beauty and the Beast.
I can't remember.
I can't remember Meatloaf's song either. There's like one good song that I know of.
No,
from Meatloaf.
Who was that one guy? He sings like this is. I think the singer was like from the 50s. Come on, you always bring him up. He's the one that's got that really deep voice.
Talking about little Barry White.
No, I thought that was somebody else. I know it was some other guy. He sings "What a Wonderful World."
Oh, Kenny Loggins. Oh wait, he sings "Puff the Magic Dragon."
He sings "Puff the Magic." That's a good song.
Yeah, Kenny Loggins.
Who was that? He sings something. You used to. I swear you had like one of his CDs, and I found it when we were first dating. I'm like, John listens to this.
And I think to myself,
yeah, who sings that?
What a wonderful world.
Who is that, though?
I have no idea.
Yes, you do.
I seriously don't know.
Yes, you do. You had his CD.
If I was going to guess, I'd say Barry White.
No, it's not Barry White.
I am fucking horrible about this stuff. I don't even remember having his CD.
I think it was one of your moms, and you got it. It was like jamming to it.
I have no damn clue what you're talking about on that one.
You just don't remember. It's something I remember, and you don't. Kenny Loggins. Are you sure he sings Puff the Magic Dragon?
I am pretty fucking sure. If not, I'm sure Zan will let us know. Bro, Kenny Loggins doesn't sing Puff the Magic Dragon. It's one of my people from Transylvania. Oh, hey, happy birthday, Zan.
Yeah.
Well, today we're recording. It is Tuesday, and we got to give Zan the man. Today is his birthday, so should we sing happy birthday to him? Happy birthday to Zan.
Oh, to
happy
Zan?
Birthday to Zan. Happy birthday, Zan. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you almost had Lily Howland.
That's right. I don't think we ever sang happy birthday to anybody on this podcast.
No, we haven't. We haven't. So Zan's the
Not
first.
that we remember. Somebody got proposed to on this podcast.
Yeah.
It was Sean Ferguson.
Yeah.
Proposed to Rachel.
Yeah. I wonder when those two are going to get married.
I don't know, but I heard I'm going to be the best man. And Jay is going to do the ceremony.
Oh, really?
Does anybody know that? Did anybody know that Jay Gearhart is a certified? What would it be considered? What is he, like a rabbi?
No.
He's a Jewish rabbi.
No, I know what the word is, but I can't. I don't think it'll come out right, and I'm gonna butcher.
Or is he like a captain on a boat? Can a captain marry somebody?
He's something. But I would like for him, like when we go to renew our vows, I would like for him to do that.
He's gonna have to dress up like Elvis, though.
But isn't he kind of like a minister? No, a minister.
An ordained minister.
I think that's what he is.
Jay is an ordained minister.
No, we should have him dressed up like he's like Amish.
He had to get on there and be like, hey, everybody, send me money. I'm going to give it to the Lord. I'm going to save your soul. You can send us money. We're going to send it to the Lord.
Isn't his dad a preacher, though?
His dad is a preacher.
Yeah.
You know what, though? He was telling me a little bit about his dad. His dad seems like a pretty cool preacher. I guess his dad won't do it in like a regular church because he thinks that people feel awkward and weird going into regular churches. He'd rather preach in like a strip mall or something like that where people come in. It just doesn't feel like a traditional church.
But you can just sit there and listen and stuff like that and not.
Kind of reminds you, we got that Church of Heavy Metal here. Is that what's called? The Heavy Metal Church of Christ here in Dayton. Some dude started it out of a van, and what they would do is they would go into bars and preach to drunk people. They still
have that going on?
They do, yeah. I do think they have a location now, though.
Huh.
Yeah, but it's called the Heavy Metal Church of Christ, and they have it in some of the strangest spots. They get in this big school bus, and they bring whatever, all their equipment, all their drums, all their guitars, all that stuff.
Oh, so they actually jam out.
Yeah, but they go to bars and they go to strip clubs, and they try to talk to the strippers about being saved by the Lord.
Well, I mean,
I could see some
you can be
big fat dude sitting in there and going, "Hold on, I'm going to talk to you in a minute. Let me get this lap dance out the way."
Ugh, I don't know. I guess for some reason when I
smell my pinky?
No, oh, that's so disgusting. I don't know what it is. It's just when somebody says strip clubs, I'm just it just leaves I don't know. I just think you have women that are dancing, and they got that pole when they're I don't know if they take all their clothes off or they
Jeremy
just have
Carroll.
But wait a minute. Listen, I just think of because a woman's bound to start sweating, and when you start sweating with most women, you start sweating in places where you really don't want to start sweating, because it's a close, tight area. You know what I'm saying?
Creeping on a come up.
Yeah.
You know what Jeremy Carroll was telling me? That he goes to this strip club.
I just think of it being stinky.
Jeremy Carroll was telling me about this strip club that he goes to, where there's a lady at the front door that doesn't have any legs. And she spins around on a pull-up bar.
Does he just go there for giggles?
Yeah, I think so. No, he was actually telling me that he found the place somewhere when he was on the Hale Trail or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess when men are yeah, we're going to the strip club, we're gonna see some titties and all this and that. I'm man, it's gotta start stinking in there.
To me, it never made any sense. It just seemed like all you did was lose all your money. Why would you want to do that?
I don't know.
But you know what does make sense, though? There's certain types of dudes out there that I believe that's really the only attention they're going to get from women.
But what about when they're married and stuff like that? Are they just not getting that attention from their wife or what?
Probably.
Well, honey,
always the girl's fault.
Honey, I'll go ahead and put some glitter on my boobies, and I'll just shove your face in them, and then there you go. The
booby show. But it'd probably be next day you'd be like, where'd that glitter come from?
Yeah. Or remember when we're down there in Florida at the Militech Expo and you're talking to Brandon Peterson or whatever, and I'm having this, and Jonathan's sitting next to me, and it was Dave Haxton sitting next to me, and I was trying to have this, we were having this conversation. And next thing you know,
I told him about the booby show.
Yeah, next thing you know, Brandon, oh, Angela, what? And I'm just
what did you just say?
What did you just say? I was totally embarrassed.
I'm not going to tell you guys about it. Anyhow, y'all, I think we're about to bounce out of this. We're 43 minutes deep up in this motherfucker.
This has been a good time. I've missed doing this. But I'm enjoying every moment that I get to spend with my Lily.
That's right.
I know, my dog.
All right, everybody, we bouncing out of here.
My BFF.
Hitting Jeremy Carroll up if you guys want to know where that strip club is. No legs. Lady has no legs, spinning around on a pull-up bar. He knows all about it.
Oh, my God.
All right, everybody, we'll see you on that next one.
And remember, it's all about the motherfucking hustle.
Bang, bang.
That's my line. Bang, bang.
Pew, pew.